joined by Oilers assistant coach Reed Nadowich. Reed, I'll keep my questions short. As you can probably tell, my vocal cords aren't in great shape. How are yours after a game where you guys started off so well, didn't get rewarded for it, but toughed it out at the end of the day?
Yeah, like that was a big one for the the group. Obviously, with regards to the wins, we've been struggling as of late. But I think like what I liked about that one, I thought like that first period, actually, if you look at it from the perspective of the entirety of the game, like we had a really good start. I thought we pushed the pace, pushed the tempo, go into it down 1-0. Obviously, the second that transpired, so you're trailing the entire time. But what I thought was super positive with tonight was that like no point did you feel out of it. The guys were intense, the guys were dialed. They wanted this one, and I think the way it happened, it was cool and well deserved.
Well, and I think the reaction to Hayden Fetchner's goal in that last second one that he scores is so indicative of that. I made either the mistake or the great move of putting a microphone right in that corner where they celebrated.
Yeah.
And those guys were pumped after Fetch gets that one into the back of the net. It just makes it a 2-goal game. It's not a tying goal or anything like that. But how big was that energy, and how much did that set up what you ended up doing in the third period?
Well, like, positive entry there, like good little shot. But it was a much needed one, and if you look at how the kind of momentum was going and stuff like that, right, it uplifted. So that kind of started that whole little spiral of what we tried to do. But like a big goal, timely goal, and cool one by Fetch.
Well, speaking of timely, how about Jagger Tapper, who sets up the Ryder Denies goal in the third period, then ties it himself. Johnny on the spot at the side of the net there, but a guy who should have had a lot more on the score sheet with how he's played these last few weeks. A 4-point game for him. And what can you say about what he's brought to the table?
4 points tonight, right? And if you look at all of what he was doing, I think there's the one wide entry that went to Fetch. The rest of them were him being around in stingy areas in that net, right? So I think like in terms of him with regards to like his forechecking, his tenacity all over the ice, like that obviously brought a lot to him. But he was taking things to hard areas, and he got rewarded for it.
The OT winner. Nice play by Sam Hall, gathers speed through the neutral zone, makes a very nice pass. But how about Owen McNeil getting that extra gear? I mean, he's not ahead of his defender when he starts that rush, but he's got a full step on him, enough time to make a move to deke out the goaltender and get that OT winner. What kind of a veteran play was that from Owen McNeil?
Yeah, like I think, well, it starts like Hall coming up, made a slick little pass, but I think like what McNeil read, like super positive in that situation. Like he's analyzing, he's scanning the ice, and he came in an area where he started over supporting Hall. So he's getting a little bit in tighter on that D, which kind of gave him that speed to get in. So he read that really nice coming up at the ice, and I think same type of thing, right? Like Hall throws it, and he's just in a stingy area at that net front, which is kind of things that we've been, super heavy and aggressive with preaching. Good support, over-supported it, sick little play by Hall, and then obviously the patience and composure of him with that finish.
How fun has this been, even though there have been some tough ones these last few weeks, just knowing that every game has had this level of intensity, this level of closeness, even games you guys have lost by 3 or 4, I felt have been winnable games. For you guys as a staff, I think it might be a bit more stressful, but is it a good kind of stress?
Yeah, like I think the biggest thing with who we're going against, we don't have there's no nights off anymore. So like our level of standards have increased, our level of execution, and for us to be successful in what we need to do, we got to be consistently dialed, we got to be consistently prepped. So I think with us as a staff, like it's been super cool. Players have enjoyed it and stuff, but it's a whole different ball game out here, absolutely, for sure, and you're just learning and adapting as we go through it.
And it continues next weekend. Black Falls at home, Brooks on the road. No more trips to the CRA after that, so you'd like to cap that off as positively as possible. But first, looking at that Friday night, what do you guys want to do against a team you definitely could have beat the last time you played them?
Yeah, like obviously, like doing some of the Sherwood Park pre-scouting. I'll watch them play those guys, and they're very much a team. The skills there, they make quick plays, but they're like they're a run and gun style where they'll try and get the score up on you, right? So I think one of our big things as of late, we've been giving up a lot of goals, and that's something that we need to be mindful of, being desperate and getting that number down. their second periods is going to be huge against them, and I think like that's the thing. Focus on their zero, making sure they're not getting anything, and then when we get the chances, super ridiculously simple, and just like tonight, the greater we are at getting into those mid lanes and those hard to play areas, more success we'll have. So similar game plan, just kind of go for it.
It's classic Okotoks Oilers hockey you're describing right there. We saw a lot of it here tonight. Congrats on the big win, and here's looking forward to a big home return on Friday.
Yeah, King, you get yourself some lozenges. Okay,
I got 'em right over here.
You be ready for Friday.
I will do my best, sir. Appreciate the time as always.
Thanks.